Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. So as the title and thumbnail might have already told you, we're going to be designing a very quick and simple Fortnite thumbnail today. So anyone can do this. You don't have to be a pro in Photoshop. I'm going to be taking you through the entire design process. It's going to be as simple as I could explain to you. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm just going to go ahead to File, go ahead and click on New, and I'm going to set my dimensions to 1920 by 1080p. Alright, and we're going to change the resolution to 300, and you can copy the rest of the settings right here. I'm going to go ahead and click create. So here's our blank canvas. So the very first thing I'm gonna go do is find us a really good looking background. So I'm just gonna go use the help of Google Images. As you can see right here, I search for Fortnite backgrounds, and I have a pretty good looking background right here. So I'm just gonna copy that, and in case you have the lock icon here on your background layer, unlock it. So click on that lock layer to unlock it. I'm going to press on Ctrl V to paste the background right here, and there we go. So remember, Ctrl V for paste. Once that is done, I'm gonna be searching for my Fortnite characters. So to search for my Fortnite character, what I'm basically gonna do is I'm gonna search for FNBR. That is the website that I use to get all my Fortnite skins. So we have a skin right here. I'm interested in this red skin right here. I'm gonna click on that. Click on this one. Save image. Go for that. There we go. It's saved right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this image into my canvas. So I'm just gonna drag it from here. We have that right there. We're gonna get back. Yep, I'm gonna place this here, and my theme for this thumbnail is gonna be red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and change this background right. I'm gonna hide this layer right now. I'm gonna change this background layer right here to red. So to do that, I'm gonna go to layer 1, which is where my background is. I'm gonna go ahead to this filters option right here. I'm gonna go ahead and click on gradient map. All right, and you can see I already have a red gradient here. So I'm just gonna click on that, and I set one color here to dark black, and another color here to red. So I'm just gonna decrease this red because it feels like a bit too bright for me. So I'm just gonna bring it down, 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 down. Let's see. Yeah, this looks pretty decent. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it there like that. You could experiment with all sorts of color. You could basically switch up the entire color scheme. I could change it to blue. I have a bunch of color palettes here. Yep, so it all looks nice, but for the theme of this video, I'm gonna be using red. So I'm gonna go ahead, unhide my character layer, go ahead and enlarge my character just so he takes up a lot of space. We don't want our thumbnails to look empty. So if you keep your character like this, if you try to show the full body, you're leaving a lot of empty space around here, here, and here. So we're trying to make our character look as big as possible because our thumbnail is small. So when it's being displayed on YouTube, it's gonna be looking quite small. We don't want that to happen. So we're gonna enlarge and make our character as big as possible. All right, there we are. Now that we have our character and our background, we're gonna spice things up. All right, and to spice things up, I have a bunch of stocks right here. So I have my smoke stock. I'm gonna drag that there. I have my speed lines, and then I have my fire stock. All right, so we'll go one by one. All right, so I'm gonna hide all of these layers first, and I'm interested in first bumping up the effects of our thumbnail. So I'm just gonna go ahead, use my fire effect first, and to use my fire effect, I select this layer. I go to this blending option right here, and I choose screen. All right, I'm gonna bring my fire layer beneath my player because I don't want my fire layer to go above my player. So as you can see, if it goes above my player, you could see that kind of obstructs how viewable the character is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna bring it down here. So you could resize the image and basically play with it, place it however you like. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a bit of trial and error here and see what looks the best. Alright, so I think this looks pretty decent. Yep, I'm just gonna go ahead, leave that there, and now I'm gonna bring my smoke layer, which is right here. Click on that smoke layer. I'm gonna go ahead and press screen as well. So in case you have a layer which is primarily dark, let's say, so you have the smoke here and the background of the smoke layer is black, you usually go ahead and select screen. So what screen does is basically takes out that black color background. So I have smoke here. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some smoke right here. So that is that. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start working on my character a bit. We're gonna spice things up here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead to this right here, the character. I'm gonna press on new layer. I'm going to go to my brush tool. So the brush tool is here, but a shortcut to the brush tool is also by pressing B on your keyboard. I'm going to go ahead to my color right here, and we're going to kind of spice things up. Yeah, so I set my color to red right here. I'm going to go ahead and basically put a couple of brush touches over my player. All right, once that is done, I'm going to go to blending options right here, and I'll apply a suitable blending option. So a bit of trial and error here, but I think I like linear dodge, so I'm just gonna go ahead linear dodge, and I'm gonna reduce the fill to like whatever suits. Let's not make it too much. This is a bit too much. Let's make it 35, just so we have the glowing effect on our character. So if I hide this, you can see it looks plain. If I unhide this, you can see that there's a bit of glowing effect going on there. I'm going to put another layer, and I'm going to select a lighter fade of red this time. So I'll just go for this one, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'll just go ahead like that, and let's see what works the best. Oh, so this looks really nice. Hard light, vivid light. I think I like hard light a bit better, so I'm just gonna go ahead to hard light. And this once again looks a bit too much, so I'm just gonna bump it down a little bit. And yeah, so you can see this is with our brush effect, and this is without our brush effect. You can clearly see that with brush effect it looks a lot better. And one more thing, I feel like so since we're gonna include our text here, we gotta basically move the center of attention to the right hand side. Yeah, so I'm just gonna bring on my rulers to show you what I mean. So here's our character, and here's our text. Here's where our text is gonna be. So I want the center of attraction, the center of attention to be towards the right side, where my text is gonna be. And for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this left hand side a bit more darker. And for that, what I'll do is I'll go to the bottom layer, the layer. This is my background layer, so this is my effects right here. I'm just gonna make another layer on top of that. I'm gonna go to my brush tool. I'm gonna select the color black. Or and to switch between colors, you basically press X here. So as long as I keep pressing X, you can see the layers shifting. So I'm gonna press X, and the topmost layer is gonna be the one that's gonna be in use. So in this case, there's black on top. So if I do that, that's black. If I switch it, now it's light red on top. So we have that. So I'm gonna switch it back to black. I'm just gonna apply a slight brush effect here, right? And go ahead and put that to overlay and slightly reduce the opacity. Actually, I think soft light might serve this a bit better. So you could see there's a slight difference, yeah, and it makes a huge difference when you look at your navigator here. You could see that, yeah, a lot of attention is being driven away from the left hand side to the right hand side. Now what we're gonna do is start out with our text. So for that, I'm gonna go on top. I'm gonna make sure my text is beneath my smoke layer. So I'm gonna go ahead now, and the font we're gonna be using is Burbank Big Regular. I'll try linking the file for it down below just so you could download it. Yep. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna type my text. So for that, I'm gonna change my color to white just so you can see my text. Yep. And I'm gonna enlarge it. So I'm gonna press Control T on that layer and basically enlarge it. Yep. All right. So let's edit our text now. So I'm gonna make it. What are we gonna call it? We're gonna call it Fortnite. This is just for example purpose. You could quite obviously change the text for yourself later on. Fortnite thumbnail. So, oops, my bad. So I'm just gonna go ahead again. An easier way is basically duplicating this layer. So I'm just gonna click on this font layer and press Control J. Once again, Control J. I'm gonna drag that down so it maintains the same size. You don't have to go through the pain of setting a new size. And I'm gonna type thumbnail, right? I'm just gonna leave that there just for the moment. Yep, and now we're gonna work on the layer style of this font. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. Yep, and to zoom in, mind you, the shortcut is Alt, and then I use my scroll wheel to scroll closer. Alternatively, there should be a shortcut to zoom in here as well. What is this? Yep, right here, zoom tool. Alright, so getting back to our font right here, we're gonna press on double click on this layer, or you could also right click and go to blending options. Yep, pull up that window we have right here. What we're going to do is we're going to apply a gradient overlay. So click on that, and you could see I already have a gradient pre-selected. So I usually prefer to keep the gradient effect when it's white. I prefer to keep it from silver to white rather than black, because black seems a bit too harsh. Yep, so I'm just gonna revert it, and here's my color. So I keep it light silver, and then I go to the rightmost color picker and make it white. So you could see there's that gradual subtle change in color. Yeah. Whoops, I think I messed up something. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yep. All right. So there's that. You could copy these settings if you wish, and you could also copy the color code. So here's the color code for this one and the color code for this one. Okay. All right. So we're done with that. Now we're gonna add some inner shadow. I'm gonna go ahead to inner shadow. I'm gonna put it to normal. I'm gonna put it to white. Yep, I'll copy these settings and I'll try messing around and seeing what looks nice. Yep, so you could see this is the inner shadow right here. I'm just gonna make it subtle once again, so I'll probably set it to, what about 3? Yep, 3 looks pretty decent. Yep, you could copy these settings and I press OK. Ooh, one more thing. I'm gonna add a drop shadow. I'm gonna go to drop shadow. You could copy my settings here as well. You could basically mess around with this. So I have like that 2D-ish effect coming, but like if you want to keep it like an actual shadow, you could basically mess around, increase your distance. And I don't think you could see it properly right now, so I'll just put it to red. And you could see, you could mess around with the settings, kind of play around. But I personally, I prefer increasing spread to 100 and keeping distance to 0. Yep. And increasing it, whoops, I'm sorry, this has to be at 90. Yep. Sorry. Setting my size to probably, this should be fine. Yeah, this looks decent. And there we go. So that is that. Now to replicate this exact same layer style to the thumbnail layer as well, we're gonna go to our Fortnite layer, right click, click on copy layer style. We're gonna go to thumbnail, and then paste layer style. There we go, easy peasy. So I'm gonna kind of reposition my text right here. So sometimes when you're working, you might mistakenly click on the smoke layer. So in which case, I'd suggest just locking that layer in. So go ahead, click on that smoke layer and click on lock. And now you can see no matter what you do, oops, it doesn't move. So I'm going to lock my file layer as well, just so I don't want that to move. And yep, easy peasy. I'm going to go to Fortnite and I'm going to basically resize my text. Yep, Fortnite. And I think thumbnail is a bit too big, so I'm just going to resize it and keep it a bit more smaller. Yeah. All right. I'm going to group this layer so it makes it easier for me to move it together. So to group your layer, you basically select both these layers and then Control G. Once again, Control G, and then you could now press Control T and move it around together. So I'll just leave it the way it was earlier. Yeah, and if you wish, you could also center align your text. To center align your text, you basically click on that text layer, press Control A. All right, once again, Control A, go on top here. So you could center align it and then vertically line it as well. But for the purpose of this video, I don't find this quite appropriate, so I'll shift it back here. All right, there we go. We have a wonderful thumbnail going on here. And to put the cherry on top, we also have our speed lines effect. So we're going to click on that. And I'm going to bring the speed lines below the character, because you could see here the speed line comes on top and it doesn't look really nice because it kind of obstructs the view of your character. So I'm going to bring it down, put it right here, and sweet, there we go. We have the perfect Fortnite thumbnail right here. And that is about it. If you have any questions, if your Photoshop isn't working, if you have any doubts with how you use your controls, you could ask me. But that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you comment down below what you'd like to see, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button just so I know you like what I'm doing. That's about it for today. Thank you so much for coming to the video, guys. Cheers.